Hey, what's up everybody? It's officially springtime out in the garden, so I'm really stoked. I want to show you a little bit about what we got growing on right now. We're gonna talk a little about planting our tomatoes and our peppers and when it's the proper time to plant them. But let's go take a look. Like I said, officially it is spring. Spring has sprung. I can hear the birds are chirping. It's actually beautiful out in the garden right now. Make sure I don't trip. But everything is looking pretty decent. The weather is getting better slowly. We've had so much rain this winter. It's actually been pretty wet here, which is great actually. But like a lot of gardeners, I'm just itching to get the garden going and get things set up for spring and for the summer and have a nice solid warm season harvest. But I'm really excited to kind of show off how things look right now and to show you, look at that, this is an apple tree. And you can see some of the leaves are already leafing out. Even some blossoms are starting to bud up. And we've also, like I mentioned in previous videos, we got some grafts on there of many different varieties. So hopefully those will take. They actually looked really good. I just checked them and they're starting to bud up and swell as well. But right now in the garden, you can see behind me, we've got garlic is maturing. Won't be ready yet. Usually, early midsummer, we'll pull some of that out and cure it and dry it and get it ready. But what's really cool is you can see that the taters behind me are really starting to get going, and I'll show you some other ones as well. The berries down here are starting to spring back to life as well. They're really responding to the temperature and the longer days, and they were just dormant just a few weeks ago, so they're really starting to take off. And so hopefully I was able to get that. But the blueberries right here behind me along the fence, they're starting to bud up as well. Let's take a look. They're pretty cool. So you can see some of the blossoms there starting to swell up and multiply. And so I cannot wait because the blueberry harvest will come kind of quickly here in late spring, early summer. But we've been harvesting like wild out here. So plenty of beets. I harvested some carrots last night for a nice meal. And you can see behind me where we did have the Cabbage Patch. The Cabbage Patch Kids. We've been harvesting cabbage here just one after the other, like beach balls. They're huge. It's just been really good. You can see a few more of them right here behind me. And so it's just time. You can even see they're starting to flower a little bit. This is a cabbage flower. And it looks just like kind of broccoli in a way, really, right? So they're related, obviously, brassicas. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some aphid inside there. They're really small, kind of gray. And that's fine for this time of year. I'm not even gonna spray it because check it out. Look how big that is. That thing is huge. It's like a basketball. And they've been super delicious. I might have to make some soup with this. I've been making cabbage rolls, all types of stuff. It's just so good. Coleslaw. And we have several more heads ready to go that you can see another one right here. And they're just, ooh, that thing is tight. Ooh, that one's good. That's gonna be delicious. But yeah, they've been phenomenal. So like I said, for finding some aphids this late in that process, not a big deal. We'll harvest them up and we'll worry about the aphids on the next plants if that's an issue. Because the aphids, honestly, they're gonna be an issue. Some plants just push through them. Other times you can get to them really early on. And then if you see it at a certain stage in the plant, of course, it's not even a problem because it's done. You can see right here, do you know what these are right here? Of course, potatoes. We're growing a lot of potatoes this spring. And they're loving the longer days and the warmer weather, so they're starting to come to life as well. And we planted them a few weeks back as seed potatoes, and I got a little patch right here. Boom, you can really see it. And those potatoes are taking off. We've got several different varieties, and they're liking it. And so eventually we'll pull those out and we'll actually replace them with some summer crops, maybe some beans and some cucumbers, some basil. We amend our soil pretty heavily, but we always try to cycle out our plants whenever we can, but sometimes it's hard, so there might be some overlap. As far as we might get some peppers in here too, even though they're in the same family, but we'll see. We try to cycle them out a little bit, but we're really intensely always adding amendment to our soil as much as possible. You can see, of course, the carrots behind you. We've been harvesting those over and over and over again. They should have been thinned out probably earlier when we first started growing them, and then since we didn't, now we have really tight clusters of them. Some of them got really big, some of them are a little bit smaller, but they've all been pretty delicious. And so I've been really happy with the carrot harvest, and it just continues on. You can see the plants are doing really good. They're actually starting to enjoy the slightly warmer weather. But that brings us to today's topic. When is it really the best to get your tomatoes in, your peppers in, your warm season crops? And so right now we're in a bit of a shoulder season where the things that I could grow that kind of like the slightly warmer weather, but not the heat, would be like your lettuces and your greens, things like that. And so for us in the summer here, it's just too hot to grow lettuce. It just bolts instantly. But if you like really delicious lettuce, now is a really good time to grow it. So if you want fresh greens, consider doing that. Of course, carrots, you could actually start them now and have an early summer or late spring harvest. You can do that as well. These were planted a while back, the ones we have, but if you want to start some now, that's totally doable. So we have another month or so of nice mild weather. And so right now honestly, we're here at the end of March. And to me, it's still a little too early to get your tomatoes put directly into the soil. No, can you? Sure, go for it. And they'll probably do fine, right? But me, I like to wait just a little bit. And what's nice is I'm not in a hurry, because we have all of our seedlings ready to go, at least most of them, and they're in the greenhouse. And so they're kind of getting hardened off a little bit. Our greenhouse isn't super warm, but it's warmer than it is out here in the garden. And so what we'll do is we'll just wait a little bit. What it is because our daytime temps right now are barely getting into the low 60s, and at night it's into like the mid 30s. And so we're not really having a frost, or I mean potentially we could, but typically we're past our last frost date. But honestly, the soil temperature for some of my things I like to grow, our tomatoes and peppers and whatnot, it's just a little too chilly, and I feel like it would get off to a slow start. So I'm just gonna wait just another week or two. Honestly, if you can go out there and you can touch the soil in the middle of the day and it's still kind of chill, it kind of just cool to the touch, even when it's been out in the sunshine, it's still probably too cool. It's still too soon, right? I said, can you? Go for it. You can maybe experiment with a few. We were just talking with a really skilled grower this last weekend. My buddy, Brad Gates, Wild Boar Farms, check him out. Super cool tomatoes, Wild Boar Farms. And he was just saying, he's like, sometimes he likes to get them in early, but not bet the whole farm. So he'll do 20% of what he's gonna grow, kind of like, as early as he kind of wants to, which is probably right around this time or early. To me, I like early April for our weather here. And then sometimes I'll even push it back to mid to late April, because every now and then we'll get some pretty wild spring weather here around this time. We've had some really heavy rains, but we'll usually get some heavy rain, some wind, and some hail. And that usually always happens at least once or twice right at the end of March or early April, at least in my opinion, what I've noticed, maybe anecdotally. And so I always like to wait just a little bit. And what's nice is, like I said, if you have your tomatoes already growing somewhere, at least maybe not directly in the soil, you're still okay. So it's up to you. You can bet a little bit, gamble a little bit, throw a row or two in, and then maybe put the bulk of your harvest, of your seedlings, out when it gets a little bit warmer. Like I said, right now we're barely getting into 60-degree days. So if the days are getting into mid to high 60s, and our nighttime temps are maybe in the mid 40s or low to mid 40s or above, that's probably going to be a little better situation for us. But I mean, to everybody, it's you're gonna do what you're gonna do. So but like, look behind me, look at this fruit tree. It's starting to get covered with fruit too. You'll notice this. Oh, I love this. I showed this in another video, but oh, they're just fun. All these little apiariums are gonna be delicious. But honestly, I've never regretted waiting just a few weeks. I know everybody wants to be the first person on their block with a super sweet harvest and then the first tomato. But honestly, if you can just wait just a little bit for the weather to turn, get a little bit warmer, let that soil warm up a little bit, because that's really what's going to drive a lot of that early root growth is soil temps. They need to be nice and warm, warm and cozy for your plants. And I think you'll notice that when it does warm up and you do plant them, they're just going to explode and just get huge anyways, and you'll be right back to where you want to be. Well, anyways, happy gardening to you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped, and I hope it's just nice to get out in the garden. It was nice to bring you along with me. If you've stayed around this long, thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, and then please come back for more. We'll talk some plants and have another adventure together. Take care, everyone.